What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my NFL DFS first look for Week 2. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another NFL DFS video. This time we are breaking down the Week 2 slate from a first look perspective here. Going to be digging in a lot deeper as the week goes on. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe if you have not yet, so you do not miss out on the other NFL videos that will be coming out throughout the week. I'll be doing a position by position video, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, where I'll give some more plays there, and then also my final looks video, my final thoughts video. And yeah, a lot of content coming out through the week, so make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on that. So going to be giving a couple plays from each position on this video here. The plays that stuck out to me the most. Of course, there's going to be a lot of changes happen throughout the week. Some injuries we got to talk about. Some guys may be in play that aren't in play as of now. So make sure you guys watch that final thoughts video, I think sometime on Friday or Saturday. So a lot can change with this first look. And then also at the end of the video, I will give a first look cash build. So we'll start at quarterback here, and of course we can talk about Lamar Jackson. He's a fantastic play here, but I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. He's 6,900 against the Detroit Lions here. The Packers are 6-point favorites with a 47.5 point game total, and Rodgers had himself a game last week, 364 yards, 4 touchdowns against Minnesota. Don't expect another performance like that, but I think this is a really good spot again for Rodgers here. The Lions gave up 240 yards and 3 touchdowns to Mitchell Trubisky last week. And the Lions had one of the worst teams against the pass last year, and they're not looking much better this year. And this also is stackable with somebody else I like, when we'll talk about with a little bit, and that is Davante Adams. So I like this play. I think there's high upside. I'm probably not going to go here in cash, or someone else will talk about in a second that I like more in cash, but I think Rodgers is a pretty solid tournament option. Getting into this next play here, and it's Kyler Murray, 6,100 against the Washington football team. The Cardinals are 6.5 point favorites with a 46 point total. Not bad there. I think he's a nice cash play here with some solid upside, rushing yard upside as well. Had a bunch of rushing yards last week. Lots of weapons to throw to, and stackable with Hopkins against someone who I also like this week as well. So Kyler Murray is somebody I'm looking at, especially for cash. He's going to have that nice floor with that rushing yard upside. A decent point total there at 46. So Murray's probably going to be my go-to in cash as of now. Next, and I like this play quite a bit actually as a tournament play, and that is Phillip Rivers at 5,900. I like the price a lot. The Colts are 3-point favorites with a 47.5 point game total. Not bad at all there. Very cheap option here with some high tournament upside. Lots of weapons to throw to. Should be lowish owned, I'm assuming. And Rivers threw 46 passes last week, and the Vikings were absolutely torched last week by Rodgers. So I'm assuming Rivers, if he gets 46 balls thrown, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to get some yards, to get some touchdowns as well. I like this play quite a bit as a nice tournament play. Also, it's of course stackable with someone who we'll talk about later in the video. Maybe stackable with some running backs. Those running backs caught a bunch of balls last week as well. So I really do like Phillip Rivers from a tournament perspective. Getting into the running backs here, and McCaffrey at 10,000. It's only interesting because I think he's going to be a little bit lower owned than last week this week, because he is playing the Buccaneers. There's a 49-point game total, which is a ton, which was one of the highest on the slate. The Panthers are 9-point underdogs. So according to the odds, the Panthers should be coming from behind a lot in this game. And it is a very tough matchup here against the Bucs, who were number 1 against the run last year. Did a great job of stopping the run from Kamara and Murray last week, but what McCaffrey does is he catches footballs, and he does it quite a bit, so there is a lot of reception opportunities, lots of touchdown opportunities as well. Kamara was able to score a couple times last week, so I actually like McCaffrey. I'm probably not going to go here in cash because the Bucs do have such a great run defense, but maybe a tournament play because he will be low owned, especially in tournaments. And people are going to look at the Buccaneers run defense and probably shy away from McCaffrey. And in 10,000, he didn't do all that great from a McCaffrey standpoint last week, so I don't know. I kind of like the play because I do think there's tons of reception upside. They're possibly going to be coming from behind, maybe some garbage time upside as well. Maybe he finds the end zone a couple times, and it is a very high point total. So McCaffrey is definitely somebody I'm looking at as maybe a, I don't want to say sneaky because it's McCaffrey, but kind of sneaky because of the matchup. All right, getting into this next play, which will not be sneaky whatsoever, and that is Ezekiel Elliott going against the Falcons here. Cowboys are 5-point favorites with a 52-point game total, which I believe is either the highest or the second highest on the slate. So you're saving 1,800 off of McCaffrey there. A potential shootout, high upside play with a nice floor. 20-plus touch upside here and touchdown upside as well. I like Elliott quite a bit. If you do want to get off the McCaffrey price, I think Elliott's a fantastic option at 8,200. And this is a play I like quite a bit. I'm probably going to have Taylor in cash here versus the Vikings. The Colts are 3-point favorites here. 47.5-point game total, which is not bad at all. I do love the price a lot. Marlon Mack is out, I believe, for the year, and he should get more rushing opportunities here as well. He can catch the ball also. He had 6 receptions last week, and Phillip Rivers is great at dumping the ball down to his running backs. 5,700, fantastic price here. I know he's going to split some time with Hines, but I still think he's going to get a lot of opportunities, maybe even some touchdown opportunities as well for Taylor here. So he didn't do all that great in the rushing department last week, but I'm assuming, that was his first game. He's going to get better as the year goes on, and he has a favorable matchup here against Minnesota. Ronald Jones at 5,200. This play is very interesting here. Very cheap play against the Panthers. The Buccaneers are 9-point favorites with a 49-point game total. Should be out front for most of the game, which should keep Jones in the game script here. 17 carries last week, and he caught 2 passes and had 3 targets as well. I just love the matchup here. The Panthers are awful against the run. They were dead last against running backs last year. They let Josh Jacobs have a fantastic game. I think Ronald Jones has an opportunity to, not have like a Jacobs game, but do well this week. So Ronald Jones is somebody I'm really looking at cash tournaments as well. I think is going to be fairly popular. Getting into the wide receivers here, and we got to talk about them. Davante Adams versus the Lions. Packers are 6-point favorites, 47.5-point game total. 17 targets last week, and we're going to see that quite a bit this year. Maybe not 17 each week, but like 10 plus targets each week. He had 156 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Fantastic matchup here against the Detroit Lions passing defense, and the Lions ranked 31st last year against the wide receiver, and I really like the Rodgers-Adams stack this week. So Adams is somebody I'm really looking at. I like him in cash. I like him in tournaments. He's going to be somebody I play a lot this year. Hopefully they keep him around this 8K range. You don't price him up to like a 9K like Michael Thomas last week. All right, getting into the next play here. Another play I really like, and that is DeAndre Hopkins at 7,700 versus the Washington football team. The Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites. 46-point game total. 16 targets last week. 1 less than Adams. 151 yards as well. He is stackable with somebody I really like in Murray. Solid matchup against this Washington secondary with a huge ceiling, huge reception upside, hopefully some touchdown upside as well. And he's still, pretty cheap. I think he should be priced up a little bit more. I know they bumped up his price, but I think he should be priced up just a little bit more. I think it's a little too cheap for Hopkins still. So give me Hopkins at 7,700 as a nice tournament option. I think he's fine in cash games as well. Next, Allen Robinson. I had him last week in some lineups. He didn't do all that great, but he had a decent game. I was expecting more, especially since Trubisky had like a 2-3 touchdown game as well. But the Bears are 5.5-point favorites, 43-point game total. I love the price here for Robinson. He's going to get that 10 target plus upside, high volume play with some touchdown upside as well, and a very favorable matchup here against the Giants secondary, who were 28th in the league against wide receivers last year. As we just saw, they let Juju Smith-Schuster had like a 2 touchdown game and did very good. So I like Robinson. I like the upside. Maybe people will shy away from him because he had, I think, like 74 yards, 9 targets, no touchdowns last week. So I think this is a good spot for him, kind of to bounce back from that not so great game. I was expecting a little bit more from Robinson last week. All right, this play is very interesting. I like the price here. 5,700 for T.Y. Hilton versus the Vikings. The Colts are 3-point favorites. 9 targets last week. Favorable matchup against the Vikings, who ranked 26th against wide receivers last year. We saw what Davante Adams did to them. And high upside play here at a very solid price for T.Y. Hilton. And the Colts threw the ball 46 times last week. And I really don't see anything changing this week, especially with, Marlon Mack is going to be out. I think they're going to pass the ball around like the 45, 50, around that mark this week as well. So T.Y. Hilton's somebody I'm really looking at. He has the upside, very cheap price. I like him in tournaments quite a bit. Cash is fine as well. And this is a play, like if you want to go down and punt At wide receiver, Scotty Miller, 4,100. The Bucks are going to be 9-point favorites here with a 49-point game total, one of the biggest on the slate. Just a very cheap pump play here with Scotty Miller. Favorable matchup against the Panthers. And he did catch 5 of 6 targets last week. If he gets another 6 targets, catches another 5 balls at 4,100, I like that quite a bit. All right, next getting into the tight ends. And we'll go with Mark Andrews here at 6,300. I think it's still, pretty cheap here for Mark Andrews. I think he was like 6,000 last week. And he's going against the Texans. Ravens are 6.5-point favorites. 52.5 point total, which is the highest on the slate here. 2 touchdowns on only 6 targets last week. And a lot of that was because the Ravens got ahead early. And they were playing kind of conservative in the second half there. But Houston ranked 27th against the tight end last year. Very high upside, stackable with Lamar Jackson. He's Lamar Jackson's #1 target. And yeah, I think there is, that high touchdown upside, especially with the 52.5 total. The Ravens are going to be scoring touchdowns in a lot of them, and most likely they will be going to Mark Andrews or Brown. All right, Hunter Henry at 5,100. I really like the price here going against the Chiefs. The Chargers are 8.5-point underdogs, so they should be trailing a bunch of the game here. 48.5 total. Garbage time upside here for Henry if the Chiefs do get out to a big lead like the Chiefs tend to do. And the Chiefs were 26th against the tight end last year as well. Henry had 8 targets last week. And I just think it's a very nice price here at 5,100. I like it quite a bit. Tournaments, cash, pretty much any format for Henry here. And then finally, Hayden Hurst. Last week I was expecting more. I thought he was going to go right into the Hooper role, and he did. 5 targets, 38 yards. Like I said, I was expecting more. The Falcons throw the ball a ton. He's 4,600 here against the Cowboys, and the Falcons are 5-point underdogs with a 52-point total, which is the second biggest on the slate. And the Cowboys ranked 31st against the tight end last year. And the Falcons, like I said, throw the ball like 50 times a game in a very good matchup for Hurst. I'm going right back to him this week. Hopefully the ownership will be a little bit lower. I like it quite a bit at 4,600 there. And then kind of getting into like a first look lineup here. I really like Murray, Kyler Murray at QB, Ronald Jones Jr., Ronald Jones II at 5,200, Jonathan Taylor at 5,700 as well. I like Davante Adams quite a bit at 8,100. Scotty Miller, 4,100. T.Y. Hilton, 5,700. Hunter Henry or Hurst, I think is fine at tight end. And then didn't really talk about him on this video, but Derrick Henry against Jacksonville's running defense at 7,900 is obviously a fantastic play. Someone who gets 20-plus carries every game. Lots of touchdown upside for Henry, so that's, I think, is going to be a pretty popular cash play. And just fill in your defense. Last week, I punted defense in a lot of lineups with the Washington football team. They scored 15 points. It worked out good. I'm going to be doing the same here, just plug in a defense. The Jets against San Francisco, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's really hard to tell what defense is going to do which. I thought the Washington football team was not going to have a great defensive day, but they ended up getting like 8 sacks, a couple picks, had 15 points, so that was a pretty good play, a pretty good punt at defense. But that's about it, guys, for the first look video this week for week 2. If you have any questions, you can comment below. Make sure you guys subscribe if you have not yet. Like this video, it really helps out a lot. You guys can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers if you guys have any questions. And just a reminder, I'm not going over all the plays I like this week. These are just kind of some that stick out to me. There is many more I want to talk about for this week. I'll be going position by position and, of course, doing my final thoughts video at the end of the week here. So thank you guys for watching, and good luck this Sunday.